Hi, I'm Kate from Nancy's Notions, and today I'd like to show you how to create piles of easy half-square triangles using a template you easily mark and then cut with the template as well. The template comes with a fully illustrated, complete instruction guide that walks you through all the steps to make the different quilt blocks. You have the option to make 11 different sizes, ranging from 1 5/8 inch to 6 1/4 inch size half-square triangle blocks. Fabrics that you can use are, of course, yardage that you have or have purchased. Just make sure you starch the fabrics first. Having the fabrics stiffen just slightly makes the whole process much easier. For today's purposes, I'm going to be using the charm squares or 5 by 5 inch squares pre-cut, and also 10-inch squares, and these layer cakes or just the 10-inch squares that have been pre-cut in a variety of different colors. So right here I have two 5-inch squares. I've placed right sides together, and now I'm going to show you the stitch direction. You'll start from one edge, go along that first edge, a 1/4 inch seam, and then stitch the final edge of the squares with that 1/4 inch seam and stitch to the end. And here we have a sample of one that is completely stitched, but now you're ready for cutting. So the laser cut channels in the center will be for cutting, and the larger channels are on either side of that cutting channel are for marking. And I'd like to show you how to make the half square triangles using the Easy Half Square Triangles template. So bring your template right over your stitched pair of squares, and you'll notice that little square lines right up inside the 5-inch square guideline that's printed on the template. The rest is super easy. We're just going to insert the rotary blade into the cutting slot. That's the center laser cut line, and cut across diagonally once, and go to the second. Lift off your template, and you have perfectly cut half square triangles, and you'll have 4 of them. Here you'll notice I've pressed each square to the darker color. So now you can start playing with the arrangement depending on what colors you've used. Just by flipping to, you instantly have a brand new block. So this next step, I'm going to show you how to create 8 half square triangles from 2 squares of fabric. We're using the 10 by 10 inch square. I'm using actually a batik fabric, so there's really no right or wrong side, so just put the prettiest side together and then slide the Easy Half Square Triangles template right over the pair of stacked squares. Now we're going to use the larger slots that flank the cutting slot, and these will be marks for our new stitching lines. So you will go across, mark each slot. So now if you happen to miss a slot or you want a solid stitching line, simply position the template edge right along your marked lines, and this will help especially in the center when you're stitching, and just essentially connect the dots. So here you have a solid line, and do that for each of the other lines. You'll stitch along the marked lines that you've drawn, going from one corner to the opposite corner. Follow your guideline, and this is where connecting the dots, especially in the center, is handy because you can see exactly where you need to stitch. Our set or our pair of squares, they're already marked, stitched, and ready to cut. So place the Easy Half Square Triangle template right on top. Again, you can see it fits right within the lines on the template, and we're going to make our first 2 cuts. Insert the rotary blade right into the cutting slot and cut across. Insert into the second cutting slot and cut. Now, don't move your fabrics, just move the template, and you'll line up the cut lines, the lines that you just cut, with the dotted lines that are printed on the template, and they'll match perfectly. Now, take your last 2 cuts, going right across, being careful not to shift your template, and 1 more cut, and we have 8 half square triangles, and I'll just flip one open for you right away. So here you can see within a matter of minutes I have 8 half square triangles. So now I can start playing, and I hope you do too, just by rearranging a few blocks. So there's a lot of options with no pinning, just a few simple seams, and super fast cutting. It's all here with the Easy Half Square Triangles template.